What's up, guys? This is Benjamin Billups again on a PC Reboot, back with another video. And in a previous, you have to excuse the echo. I'm in a new apartment, and this living room space is kind of big, and we don't really have anything in here to dampen the sound. But anyway, in a previous video, someone asked me about solid state drive and hard drives and which would be better for them. So I'm here to answer that question. I got a little list here of things to help me out. But first, we're going to start with fragmentation. And that's just when the disk fills up, the larger files become scattered. This happens on a hard drive because they're a magnetic disk that spin. Think of it like a record player. It's the same difference. It's got the head that reads the data on the disk. And imagine that disk skipping. Same. You know how you hear the skip and it starts going crazy? Well, your disk could possibly do the same thing in your hard drive. So with solid state drives, you wouldn't really have that problem because they're cells. There's no spinning disks or read heads or anything like that. It works more like a USB. It's different, but it still works more like a USB to put it into perspective. And also we have durability. Once again, these spinning disks and these heads, the reading heads, come into play. There are no moving parts inside of a solid state drive. So if you drop it, you don't have anything to worry about. You bump it as you're moving your computer. If you have a hard drive, you could possibly knock the head or one of the disks. Something could come misaligned, broken, stuff like that. Physical size. Solid state drives are much smaller than hard drives. They're much lighter because, once again, they don't have all the magnetic disks. And also, with hard drives, the bigger hard drive you have, the larger the storage space, the heavier it's going to be because you have more disks in there. So that's something to think about. Now we're going to move on to the storage size, which is going to play into the price also. So we'll do both of these at once. And I did a little research for hard drives. We had a 500 gigabyte hard drive. You can get that for $40. And for a 4 terabyte hard drive, now hard drives can get bigger, but because I'm comparing them to the solid state drives, the max you can get with a solid state is 4 terabytes, so I was comparing them size for size. But that's also another topic. But for 4 terabytes, you can get that for about $130. And that is spinning at the higher 7,200 RPM. So it's going to a little faster reading and writing. Solid states, for the same 500 gigabyte solid state drive, you're gonna pay about $150. That's a $110 difference. You might be able to find it $10 cheaper to make it even 100. And for the 4 terabytes, that's the max on solid state. You're gonna pay a nice $1,500. That's well over the price of building an entire system. So unless you just have goo gobs of money to throw, I would highly recommend you don't even bother looking at that. That's a pretty hefty price to pay. And next we have the speed, which is what everybody wants to know about. And this plays into the price also, back into the storage size / price. Unless you're doing some heavy, now solid state drives are faster, but unless you're doing some heavy hitting stuff on there, I mean, that's pretty much up to you. For the price, like personally, what I have is my OS. I have a 128 gigabyte solid state drive that I keep my OS on just for faster booting. But everything else is kept on hard drives, except for my games. I'm a gamer, so I have a separate solid state drives that I keep my video games on, all my computer games. But I mean, unless you do things like that, like everything else I put on there, movies, music, everything, even my other programs and applications that I use on the computer, even those are still on hard drives. So, and depending on what it is, how large the file is, you're really not going to even see a difference in the load times. So we keep that in mind also when you're trying to decide. But yeah, it's pretty much up to you and what you plan on doing with it. Video editing, graphic design, stuff like that. I would say maybe have a combination for, like I do for my games and stuff. For actually the software, use a solid state, and for save files, if you need the space, save them onto a hard drive. That way you kind of get the best of both worlds, maybe. And speaking of the best of both worlds, I know someone may have a question about the hybrid drives. I don't really recommend the hybrid drives. They're only they don't cost that much more than the standard hard drive, and they're supposed to have somewhat the speed of a solid state with the storage capacity of a hard drive. I'm not really feeling that. I really don't know how to touch on that subject. But you can't actually, what a hybrid drive does is, it doesn't actually let you store things on the solid state. The computer automatically uses that space to load the files that you most frequently use to help those boot faster. Which I would prefer to choose my own programs, the ones that I know need to be fast, regardless of how often I use them. So that's how that would work. Like if you listen to music a lot or whatever, those little bitty files, it's gonna choose those small files to play from the solid state drive, which you don't need because they're so small. You don't need fast load time for the song. It's a couple megabytes. So yeah, it's pretty much up to you. If you have the money to throw around for these hefty price solid state drives, I'd say go for it. Or if you don't have the space to have the solid states and the hard drive, you have to choose what's best for you. But yeah, those are just my thoughts and some facts I looked up to answer a question from a subscriber. And yeah, if anybody else has any questions, they want anything else explained, just feel free to comment, send a message. Don't flood the inbox, because yeah, it's just comment, give it a like, share, thumbs up, whatever it is. I don't know what that's Facebook, like all that good stuff. I will be trying to make a Facebook, Twitter page to kind of expand on the website also, so keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, yeah, just you can post on YouTube, or you can visit the site, pcreboot.tech, or give us a call. The link to that will be in the description.